This movie had no business cooking this well. If you're a fan of slashers, like me, you owe it to yourself to watch this film. After all, Shudder is quietly and slowly becoming the new Blumhouse, producing great horror films. Everything from Late Night with the Devil to this to, well, the VHS series, they're getting there. In a Violent Nature is a bottle film that mostly depicts the action or lack thereof following Johnny. It's one of the best parts about this movie. While most people hate the cliche characters in these films, In a Violent Nature circumvents them by staying with Johnny. You only get small glimpses of these characters, just enough to know the story, and also, the kills are brutal for each of the cliches. From the douchebag old man, to the pothead, to the water hook, to probably the kill that this film will most be known for, the yoga kill. The one where, spoiler alert folks, by this point, Johnny has these old school, like, firefighter gear. He has a hook. It's a chain with 2 hooks on each end, right? He stabs Yoga Girl, pulls the chain through her, puts it in her head, pulls it through her stomach, breaking her neck, and just pulls her head through her stomach. Look, my description does not do it justice. It is an insane kill and probably the kill that this movie will be known for. Kind of like how the first Terrifier was mostly known for the whole, girl tied up upside down with a saw going down the middle. Or the really graphic bedroom scene from Terrifier 2. That's the kill people talk about. Or even in Jason X when Jason smashes the woman's head into the... Man, there's a lot of violence against women in these films. Killing of the douchebag and his friend, which had one of the gnarliest kills when he just dumps a rock on the douchebag's head. Got an audible gasp from my theater, which also, great idea. This film does not technically have a score. There's some music in it, but it's more area music playing from a local radio or the TV or a Walkman that someone has. You never have an actual score, you just have surrounding audio, music. I also love the cliche of the lovers and the hero sheriff. The hero sheriff, getting one of the most brutal, probably the second worst kill in this entire film. If the worst kill was easily that yoga one, this poor son of a bitch, in I think an 8-minute long sequence, has a log splitter. He essentially, Johnny separates his spinal cord from his back to where he's paralyzed from the neck down, and all you can do is you see his eyes moving. At one point, Johnny cuts off his hand using this old wood splitter and then decapitates him in one of the slowest, ugliest, most painful deaths that you can imagine. Legitimately, some kills that I've never seen before, would never have imagined it in a horror film, and just actually got audible gasps from the audience when I was watching this. It's just outstanding all the way through, and I mean that in a good way. I also want to point out how stupid Colt is. He's the, he's the good guy that's not with the girl, the douchebag's with the girl, that cliche. Colt is just an idiot, confronting Johnny, thinking that he can hold him off long enough. Johnny just puts him down quick and fast and in a hurry with an axe. And as he's just chopping this idiot down again and 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 again, because he just keeps chopping at him, the final girl puts back the locket that basically started this whole mess back on a gas canister so that hopefully Johnny will leave her alone, but it's very evident that she's still haunted by all of this. The atmosphere in this film is outstanding because, again, we're only following the killer's perspective. The story is bare bones, but it works. Now, what might be the most divisive part of this entire film would probably be the final monologue, where we get 2 survivors, also one of the other ones being a final girl. She gets picked up by a young Miss Lauren Marie Taylor, actually known for her role as Vicky in Friday the 13th Part 2. I guess 2 final girls talking to one another, kind of telling her how you need to survive, moving on. We see the aftermath of one of these films, which they never really talk about or notice. This is the only time we ever leave Johnny, is when we're following Chris. And some people probably won't like this really long monologue of the after effect, but personally, I do. I enjoy those parts because they are also play with what's going to happen. You're not sure, is this lady in on it? Is she going to kick the girl out? Is she going to kick Chris out of the vehicle? At one point, stopping to bandage her leg because she's slowly bleeding to death. And Chris just looks out into the woods, and we're looking for Johnny with her, waiting and expecting something horrible to happen. Signs of the PTSD that will haunt her going forward. And honestly, I enjoy this whole movie. The lore, the story of why Johnny is the way he is. The stretches of slow walking through the woods, the ambiance. It's mesmerizing, but also weirdly pleasant in between parts of, murder. It's a really unique film, a really unique take, and something that, if you're a fan of slashers or horror movies in general, you should go out of your way to watch it. We get to see a slasher setting up his kills. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this entire film. Personally, I do recommend it to everyone. Easily a 7.5 out of 10, an outstanding film. I do recommend you go watch it. Watch it in theaters if you can. If not, at least support it when it comes to streaming on Shudder. It is in a different aspect ratio. I want to say it's 6:9, which is very different. Not something that you normally see, but I like the experimentation. But yeah, what did you think of In a Violent Nature? Let us know down below. We'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll catch you all next time. We'll see everybody.